Why hello there, welcome to this video. Today we will be exploring the possibility that everything you, a hypnotized, indoctrinated, and bamboozled denizen of modern Western civilization have ever been taught about science, history, and the very nature of the world itself, is a lie. Let's begin. In the shadows of conspiracy theories, one question lingers. Why would NASA fake outer space? Could it be a ploy to retain power? Or perhaps a strategic move to conceal classified information? There are certain anomalies that would seem to indicate outer space could in fact be a myth. Anomalies such as faking the International Space Station have sparked controversy and conspiracy theories worldwide. These claims often arise from skepticism surrounding government agencies and their transparency with space missions. Despite the evidence provided by space agencies, some individuals remain unconvinced and delve deeper into alternative explanations. This skepticism has led to a divide in public opinion, with passionate debates igniting across social media platforms and online forums.
My name is Justin Harvey. I live at 103 South Osceola, Orlando, 32801. Good afternoon, Commissioners. Today I'd like to bring to your attention a potential fraud on an enormous scale happening in your county. There's now clear evidence of NASA using numerous methods to grossly mislead the public about astronauts being on the International Space Station. During interior ISS scenes from NASA's own live feed, the use of wires, harnesses, green screens, and virtual reality have been detected to achieve the appearance of a weightless environment. Examples of this include astronauts fading in and out of the screen, green screen glitches, grabbing objects that aren't really there, pulling on invisible wires, getting tangled in their harnesses, and even astronauts appearing out of thin air. This begs the obvious question. If they're really up there, why are they using Hollywood techniques to fake the footage? Now, unfortunately, I can't show you these clips in here today, but I will be sending them to you. Moving on, outside the International Space Station, during spacewalks, air bubbles have been recorded on numerous occasions. How is it possible for air bubbles to be present in the vacuum of space? I once questioned astronaut Scott Kelly about this phenomenon. His body language and answers only created more questions. In 2013, astronaut Luca Parmitano nearly drowned during a spacewalk when his helmet filled with water. This happened again just last year. Air bubbles, helmets filling with water, and drowning. Are they in space or are they underwater? Now, what's really interesting is that they trained for spacewalks in an underwater pool with a complete ISS replica. Now, surely they aren't filming these spacewalks in an underwater pool and then editing them to appear if they're in space, because that sure would be something, wouldn't it? I'm calling on the Brevard County Commissioners to open a full investigation into NASA's fraudulent practices and use of taxpayer dollars. It costs NASA $3 billion per year to operate the ISS, and if they don't have a darn good explanation as to why they're faking these videos, I and the public would like a darn good explanation as to where our tax money is going. And if they are indeed faking the funk, it is our duty to expose and eliminate this fraudulent and astronomically wasteful ISS program. And look, I know what you're all thinking. The NASA is part of the federal government and you're just county commissioners. Even if what I'm saying is true, what can you do? But let me remind you, not only is this happening in your county, as public officials, you have the platform and the ability to make a statement or hold a press conference, alerting the public, state, and federal authorities to investigate further. You have the power to start the conversation. Video evidence of everything I described today will be emailed to you all, and I truly hope we can get to the bottom of this. I look forward to the day that $3 billion annual budget is put towards our veterans, our homeless, maybe some of that mental health stuff the young lady just spoke about, and the revitalization of Brevard County. Thank you for your time today, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, can you tell us your name?
My name is Dylan O'Donnell.
And tell us a bit about what you do.
Well, you know, I've got a day job running an IT company, but that's really just a front. I make fake pictures for NASA. All of my astrophotography is just, it's not real. It's 3D art. It's we put it together in Blender and Photoshop and a whole bunch of other tools. It takes a while, but the results I think are pretty good and have fooled most of the world.
So why do you do it?
At first I just thought I could get a few more likes on Instagram, get a few more likes on Facebook, and after a while though it became addictive, you know. The money, the women, the fame. I just couldn't get enough of it. I was buying fast cars, really living that astrophotographer lifestyle, and it's really hard to stop once you're in it. So they kept paying me money, and NASA kept sending me the files, so I kept perpetuating their myth about space. You know, none of it's real.
And how do you do it exactly?
So NASA sends me the files. They'll send me like 3D models. They'll send me like computer-generated star backgrounds. They send us all the assets, and then we can put them all together and generate these images of the universe in real.
So is this widespread? Are there other astrophotographers doing this?
I mean, we're all in on it. Like, you know, all the big guys: Christopher Gove, Theory the Gold, Martin Pugh, Mark G, Galactic Hunter, Chuck, Astro Backyard. You know that
You
guy?
got Astro Backyard?
Yeah, we're all in on it. Yeah, you see how he's wearing a NASA shirt? Yeah, we get that shit for free. I mean, sometimes we have to coordinate and like get on a Skype call and download all the latest assets together and go over what we're going to do and how we're going to release it. Yeah, it's like a global cabal, really. Hey, Trevor, Chuck. Yeah, you get those files? Yeah, they look pretty good, don't they? I reckon we can work with those. So, do you want me to release first, or yeah, maybe you? Yeah. All right. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, no worries.
And why are you exposing all of this now?
You know, I didn't want to expose it, but one day I posted a video, and one of my astrophotography tutorial videos, and someone left a comment, and they told me that they were onto me and that space was fake, and I realized at that point that I'd been exposed and I couldn't really continue. People are starting to wake up. So I just had to, so I guess I just wanted to come clean, and I know that's the end of this lifestyle, but I think it's the right thing to do.
Now, I don't want to fool you here. Last month, for the first time since 1972, NASA released a blue marble, a single snapshot of the Earth taken from outer space. And so much has changed in the decades between that first picture and the second. Borders have shifted, generations have come and gone. Our global population has nearly doubled. But one thing hasn't changed. Our planet is as beautiful as ever. It still looks blue.
In 2002, Blue Marble 2.0, NASA's Rob Simon made this. And it had wide appeal too. For example, it ended up as the default background on the iPhone.
I didn't even know until I bought an iPhone and turned it on and kind of did a little happy dance.
Simon's job is...
It's primarily taking data and making pictures out of it.
That's what this is, a composite of data sets from several different instruments translated into a picture.
To us, the really cool thing was the data set. Up until that point, there was no realistic color map of the globe anywhere.
So the land layer here comes from
the Moderate Resolution Imaging Spectroradiometer aboard Terra.
And the tricky part here was the weather.
So we actually had to take clouds out.
They stashed the clouds for later, went onto the ocean. That came from an instrument that measures phytoplankton in the sea.
Where it was low, I colored it dark blue because they're low mostly in mid-oceans. And then where it's a little bit higher, it was like a little bit brighter green.
Then add the clouds back in.
There's a small problem with it because there's a very slight gap in between each orbit.
So some of those are painted on.
It is photoshopped, but it's has to be.
Then,
There was another layer to sort of simulate the atmosphere.
and then there's this little bright spot.
It's called the specular highlight. So it's the reflection of sunlight off of water.
Those are the pieces, but you can't just slap them all together.
It just didn't look realistic. It looks kind of flat, or the clouds are sort of too see-through. So I just hit Command Z a lot.
There's artistry to creating the world.
What I imagine it to be. Unfortunately, I'm not an astronaut. I've never been to space, but I've looked at these images over and over again, trying to sort of get the essence of it. It is photoshopped, but it's has to be. It is photoshopped, but it's has to be.
Here's a study of the clear daytime sky. The observations were carried out in 12 locations at various altitudes above the sea, various climatic, meteorological, and synoptic conditions. The observations were carried out mainly during high transparency of the atmosphere in the visual range of the spectrum in the absence of a snow cover. In the investigations, 2 instruments designed by V.G. Fezenkov were used. One of these was a visual photometer of the daytime sky intended for measuring the brightness of the firmament. Interesting. Trying to figure out the brightness of the firmament. Again, 1957. The dissertation contains a certain formula of the brightness of the sky, taking into consideration only the brightness of the first order, and derived, get this now, on the assumption of a flat Earth, and giving some conclusions derived on the basis of this formula. So the Russians are trying to check out the firmament based on assumptions of a flat Earth in 1957? Very interesting, huh? 1987 NASA technical paper, 2768, User's Manual for Linear, a Fortran program to derive linear aircraft models. Look at that in Acrobat here, same document. And we'll scroll down to, I believe it was page 12 again. Program overview. Within the program, the nonlinear equations of motion include 12 states representing a rigid aircraft flying in a stationary atmosphere over a flat, non-rotating Earth. More diagrams, more equations. The nonlinear equations of motion used in the linearization program are general 6-degree of freedom equations representing the flight dynamics of a rigid aircraft flying in a stationary atmosphere over a flat, non-rotating Earth. Let's continue. That was 1987. NASA.gov, May 1988. Flight testing. Flight testing a V-STOL aircraft to identify a full envelope aerodynamic model. June 27, 1988. Day after my birthday. Page 4 of their document. For aircraft problems, the state of measurement models together represent the kinematics of a rigid body for describing motion over a flat, non-rotating Earth. All right. NASA.gov, December 1991. Aircraft model for the AIAA Controls Design Challenge. On page 11. Once again, you have the equations of motion and atmospheric model. The nonlinear equations of motion used in this model are general 6-degree of freedom equations representing the flight dynamics of a rigid aircraft flying in a stationary atmosphere over a flat, non-rotating Earth. You guys start to see a pattern here? NASA.gov, June 1997. Talking about the SR-71. Predicted performance of a thrust-enhanced SR-71 aircraft with an external payload. One of my favorite aircraft of all time. That's just a cool-looking airplane, huh? Let's see what they have to say about a back-mounted hypersonic research vehicle sitting on top of the SR-71. That's pretty crazy. Pretty cool interior shot right here. And on page 8, Digital Performance Simulation Description. The digital performance simulation equations of motion use 4 assumptions that simplify the program while maintaining its fidelity for most maneuvers and applications. Number 1, point mass modeling. 2, non-turbulent atmosphere. 3, zero side forces. And 4, a non-rotating Earth. Now, they don't specify flat here, but they're saying the Earth's not rotating as part of their 4 assumptions that simplify the program while maintaining its fidelity.
In the simplest terms, satellites are objects in space that orbit around larger bodies like Earth, Moon, or planets. They play a crucial role in various aspects of modern life, such as communication, weather, forecasting, navigation, and even monitoring the environment. Satellites are equipped with specialized instruments that allow them to collect data and transmit it back to Earth, helping scientists and researchers make important discoveries and monitor changes on our planet. This vast network of satellites orbiting the Earth forms an intricate system known as the satellite constellation, working together to provide global coverage and ensure seamless communication and data collection. Satellites, yes!
It's one of the best-kept secrets of space science. For transporting ambitious and hefty scientific experiments to near space. Though they're not as flashy or headline-grabbing as rockets. For the quickest and most cost-effective trip to near space, they are the time-honored gold standard.
Satellite missions can take 5 to 7 years and millions of dollars to develop, where scientific balloon instruments can be developed on a shorter time frame and a much lower cost.
From atmospheric studies to the origins of the universe, they have been the vehicle of choice for some major scientific discoveries. And new super pressure technology, along with sub-arc-second pointing capability, put scientific balloon performance on par with satellites for certain types of science.
Police and fire crews were called to a Lehigh County neighborhood for a mysterious object that parachuted into a tree from high above, and it looked a lot like a satellite.
That he did. This is the moment the U.S. shot down an alleged Chinese spy balloon that entered U.S. airspace. An F-22 fighter jet took down the balloon with one shot Saturday afternoon.
But before we part ways, remember to hit the like button and subscribe for more content. Your support keeps this channel alive, so thank you for being part of this amazing community. Keep the notifications on so you never miss an upload. And until next time, take care and stay awesome.